Hello again, and welcome to the third phase of our production journey, production execution. In the first chapter, we explored the foundation of master data, where we learned about the bill of materials, BOM, and routings. These elements define the components and the sequence of steps required to manufacture a product. In the second chapter, we transitioned to production planning. Here, we introduced the concept of planned independent requirements, PIRs, which help predict future demand. We also ran the Material Requirements Planning (MRP) process, which analyzed stock levels and proposed the planned orders necessary to meet production needs. Now we are ready to move into the production execution phase, where we take the output of our planning efforts and bring it to life. Our starting point will be the planned orders generated by MRP. These orders serve as a recommendation. They suggest what, when, and how much to produce. However, they are not yet a commitment to start production. The first step in this process is to convert these planned orders into production orders. By doing this, we officially commit to the manufacturing process. The production order provides all the necessary details for execution, such as material requirements, operations, and scheduling information. Once we have our production order, it will initially have the status of created. This status simply means the order is ready but not yet active for execution. The next important step is to release the order. Releasing the production order is crucial because it authorizes the system to track material consumption, record production activities, and update inventory. After releasing the order, we will perform the first key action, consuming raw materials. This involves withdrawing the necessary materials from inventory to begin the production process. These materials will be allocated to the production order and recorded in the system as consumed. This is a critical step to ensure that the production process has all the required inputs. Next, we move to the production activities. These activities include tasks such as labor and machine usage, which are essential for transforming raw materials into the finished product. During this stage, the system allows us to track the time and resources used for each operation. Once the production activities are complete, we will perform the confirmation step. This is where we officially record what has been produced, as well as the resources consumed during the process. At this point, the system will automatically post the finished product into inventory. This action updates the inventory levels, increasing the stock of finished goods. This phase marks the transition from planning to execution, where we see the results of our efforts reflected in the system. Throughout this chapter, I'll guide you through each of these steps, explaining the details and showing how SAP ensures a seamless flow from start to finish. Let's dive in and explore how we bring plans to life in the production execution phase. This screen represents a continuation from the previous step, where we started addressing planning deficiencies identified by the MRP evaluation. Here, we focus on the specific planned orders listed in the stock requirements list. Selecting the Edit option next to a planned order allows us to proceed to the conversion phase. This is a critical step in transforming the planning output into executable production orders. Upon selecting Convert for a planned order, the system opens a pop-up window to initiate the conversion process. This window allows us to confirm key parameters such as production type, schedule date, and order quantity. It's important to ensure these details align with our production strategy before proceeding. Once reviewed, we click OK to finalize the creation of a production order. With the list refreshed, the newly created production order is now visible. At this stage, we can identify the specific order number assigned by the system. Clicking on the order number provides an opportunity to delve into the order's details for further analysis or execution. Here, we can observe the key details of the order. By selecting Open and then Production Order, we arrive at the main production order display screen. Now, let's start with the header section. At the top, we have critical information such as the order number, material number, order type, plant, and the current status. One essential detail to focus on is the status field, as it provides insights into the order's progress. To delve deeper into the status, we select the Status button. On the status overview, we see several entries such as Created, which indicates that the order has been initiated. When the order is in the created status, specific actions like goods movement or confirmations are not yet allowed. Another status worth mentioning here is material availability not checked, which indicates that material availability verification has not yet been performed. Once we've reviewed the status, we navigate back to the production order screen. Next, let's explore the General tab. Here, we find sections for quantities and dates and times. This tab provides details like the total quantity plan for production and the scheduling information, including start and end dates. We'll also briefly touch on the scheduling method, displayed at the bottom of the screen, which defines how the system calculates the production timeline. Now, let's move to the Assignments tab. This section includes details about responsibilities, such as the MRP controller and production supervisor, and the specific plant assigned to this order. It also displays other linked assignments like WBS elements or profit centers, providing a comprehensive view of the order's allocation. From there, we head to the Goods Receipt tab. This tab outlines the stock type, such as unrestricted use, and any tolerances for under-delivery or over-delivery. This information is critical for understanding how the finished goods will be handled once the production is completed. Next, we look at the Control tab. In this area, we review parameters related to costing, such as planned costs and variance keys. These settings influence how the order's financial aspects are managed within the system. Finally, we examine the Dates and Quantities tab. This tab consolidates information about the planned production timeline, including release, start, and end dates, alongside the quantities to be produced. Now, moving to the Components icon, we review the essential materials required for production. The list includes Raw 001 and Raw 002, both with a planned quantity of 10 units. To ensure these materials are available in stock, we use the Check Material Availability icon at the top of the screen. The system confirms that both materials are available for consumption in Operation 10, validating the Bill of Materials, BOM, and planned requirements. Using the scroll bar, we navigate to the backflush column and enable this setting for Raw 001 and Raw 002. This configuration ensures that the raw materials are automatically consumed during the execution of Operation 10, streamlining the process and reducing the need for manual interventions. After configuring the components, we move to the operations by selecting the respective icon. On this screen, we highlight the YBP3 control key, which automates the goods receipt process during operation confirmation. This setup means that upon completing the operation, the system will automatically transfer the finished product to inventory. This automation enhances efficiency by minimizing manual steps and simplifying the overall process. By double-clicking on Operation 10, we access the details of the production routing. While the General tab is displayed initially, our focus is on the Standard Times tab. Here, we verify the planned execution times for the operation. The system indicates 60 minutes of machine time and 60 minutes of labor time per finished product. These values were previously defined during the routing creation in an earlier chapter. This validation ensures that the planned times align with production goals, providing better control and efficiency during execution. Once we have reviewed the items and the standard times from the routing, it's essential to analyze the planned costs associated with the production. To do this, we navigate through the menu by selecting Go to Costs, Analysis. This will lead us to the planned cost breakdown for the production order. On this screen, we see a detailed overview of the planned costs for each component and activity. For example, the raw materials Raw 001 and Raw 002 have planned costs of €100 and €200 respectively, as shown in the total planned costs column. These values are based on the material quantities required and their valuation prices. Additionally, the costs for manufacturing activities are displayed. We observe two key entries: manufacturing machine hours and labor hours. These values originate from the cost center CC001. Specifically, machine hours, M001 10 hours at a rate of €10 per hour, resulting in a total of €100. Labor hours, L001 10 hours at a rate of €20 per hour, resulting in a total of €200. When we sum the material costs with the manufacturing activity costs, the total planned cost amounts to €600. The planned credit entry is also displayed, representing the finished product's planned delivery to inventory. In this case, the finished product, FP001, is valued at €60 per unit. With a planned production quantity of 10 units, the total credit plan for inventory is €600, matching the calculated standard cost. This detailed cost analysis ensures that all elements are accounted for and aligned with the production planning, providing clarity on material and activity allocations. It also highlights the integration between cost elements and the valuation process. Now that we have reviewed all the elements of the production order, we return to the production order header to proceed with its release. This step is crucial as it authorizes the execution of key production processes. At this stage, the status of the order is displayed as Created CRTD. To release the order, we click on the Release button. Upon clicking, the system transitions the status, enabling several important functionalities. The system generates a printout of the production order for use on the shop floor. The release allows the posting of goods movements, such as the consumption of raw materials. It also enables the confirmation of the production order, signifying the completion of specific operations. After completing the release, we click Save to confirm the changes. Here, we observe an update in the stock/requirements list, indicating that the production order has been released. This status change ensures that the production workflow can now proceed smoothly. In the next step, we will start with the production confirmations, focusing on recording the progress and completion of operations. Now that the production order has been released, we move on to the confirmation process. This is a critical step where we record the actual production details and finalize the operation. To begin, we access the Confirm Production Order Operation app. In the first screen, we enter the production order number and the operation number. Once these fields are filled and we press Enter, the system retrieves the plan data for the operation, including the quantity to be produced and the standard times for activities such as machine and labor usage. These values originate from the routing and were transferred to the production order during its creation. They act as a benchmark for the production process. Here, the user has the opportunity to validate or adjust the data. For example, plan times for machine and labor can be updated to reflect the actual time spent on the operation. The yield quantity can be adjusted to record the actual output, and fields for scrap or rework can also be used if applicable. This flexibility ensures the production data is accurate and provides valuable insights for analyzing efficiency and costs. Next, we navigate to the Goods Movements tab. The system automatically determines the material movements based on the backflushing settings configured earlier. Here we see consumption of raw materials RAW 001 and RAW 002 with movement type 261, which deducts these materials from inventory. The receipt of the finished product FP001 into inventory with movement type 101, confirming the transfer of the completed product into stock. These movements highlight the seamless flow from raw material consumption to the finished goods receipt, ensuring that inventory and production records are updated accurately. Finally, to complete the process, we select Post. This action confirms the operation and records all the associated movements in the system. At this stage, the production order is updated with the actual production details, and inventory balances reflect the changes, marking the successful completion of the operation. After completing the goods movement step, we revisit the Monitor Material Coverage app to validate updates in material availability. The system visually confirms changes in inventory status, with the green indicator signifying that the stock for our finished product has been successfully updated. By selecting Material FP001, we access the stock requirements list, which provides a detailed view of the materials planning and inventory details. On the stock requirements list screen, we notice that the system now reflects 10 pieces of FP001 available in stock. This update confirms that the goods movement and production order confirmation steps were successfully processed. Additionally, we observe other planning elements, such as independent requirements and planned orders, which continue to appear as part of the material's overall planning structure. This screen offers a comprehensive overview, highlighting both the available stock and the actions previously planned. To further confirm the availability of these 10 pieces, we access the Manage Stock app. By entering the material code FP001, the system retrieves a detailed stock overview, showing 10 pieces as unrestricted use stock. This confirms the material is fully available and ready for subsequent processes, such as sales or further production steps. This exercise allows us to clearly see the progression of the production flow, from the confirmation of the production order to the stock update in the system. It also emphasizes the connection between the planning elements and the material's real-time status. With these insights, we conclude this stage of the process, verifying that the material is now available for the next phase in its life cycle. In the following session, we will explore how this stock transitions into the order-to-cash process, continuing its journey through SAP. Dr. SAP here, and wow, what an incredible journey we've had today. Together, we've explored the very heart of SAP's production processes, a chapter filled with depth, discovery, and powerful tools to drive manufacturing efficiency. Let's reflect on what we've accomplished. We started by laying a solid foundation, diving into the bill of materials, BOM, to understand the components behind every product. Then we mapped the path forward with routing instructions, step-by-step manufacturing plans that make production seamless. With that, we prepared for the future by leveraging planned independent requirements, PJAR, to forecast demand, and then through the magic of MRP, brought everything into alignment, ensuring materials and resources were ready for production. But that was just the beginning. In the execution phase, we turned plans into action. We transformed planned orders into actionable production orders, double-checked every detail, and moved raw materials into the production line with goods movements. We rolled up our sleeves and confirmed operations, seeing production activities come to life. And finally, we updated and verified stock levels, knowing the system now accurately reflects the fruits of our labor. These two visuals encapsulate the story of our day. The manufacturing process sequence shows how we started with planning and ended with execution, while the production order execution process reminds us how each step contributes to a flawless production flow. This chapter wasn't just about learning, it was about mastering. Together, we've unlocked the core mechanics of production in SAP, empowering you to bring precision and efficiency to your processes. As we wrap up, I want you to take a moment to celebrate this achievement. This was no small feat. You've gained knowledge and skills that will transform the way you view production in SAP. And this is just the beginning. Thank you for your focus, your curiosity, and your dedication. I can't wait to see you in the next chapter, where we'll take these finished goods and step into the exciting world of order-to-cash. Until then, keep pushing boundaries, stay curious, and remember, SAP is your ally in creating greatness. See you in the next session.